Chapter 2 test review, problem number 6. This has to do with a formula to calculate the size of a square footing is S is equal to 12 times the square root of W over B. W is the weight on the footing measured in pounds, how much is going to be placed on this, divided by the soil bearing capacity, how much weight per square foot in this case your footing can withstand. So the footings, if you don't already know that, has to do with supporting a floor, a building, all starts with a footing. Okay, so I want you to pay close attention to this problem because S in this case represents just the length, and in this case it's a square, so I only need to tell you one side, just the length of one side, not the area of the footing, just the length of one side. So I'm going to find the bearing capacity. So I'm going to start with the formula. So I have S is equal to 12 times the square root of W over B. And I'm going to go ahead and substitute the values in. And I know that in this particular problem, S is equal to 27. There's my 12. I'm looking for the bearing capacity. I'm looking for B, so I'm going to be substituting the weight, which is 4320 over B. All right, so in order for me to get to B, I'm going to have to tackle this guy on the outside. Remember, we're working from the outside in. We're doing SAD map. SAD map, outside in. And I wish I could remember what Neil came up with for the explanation, but I don't. I'll have to write it down someplace. Something about math, every problem. Students always do maths, every problem. I think that's it. Okay. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. So I have 27 divided by 12 over here. And this whole guy right here, 4320 over B, all of that divided by 12. Both sides by 12. Reduce that out. 27 over 12 is equal to 4320 over B. 4320 over B. Okay, so this B is not in a very good place, and I've got a lot of stuff in the way. So this has got to come off first. What's the opposite of taking the square root of something? The opposite of taking the square root is squaring it. So I'm going to have to square both sides at the same time. If I could write with two hands, I would do it. So it's going to be 27 over 12 squared is equal to this whole guy, 4320 over B squared. Okay, so this is going to take that fella right off, leaving me with 4320 over B. And I still have this fellow over here. So I've got, I'll let him just sit there. 27 over 12 squared. Okay, so I'm after B. And he's in the denominator, and I don't really like him down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to multiply both sides by B. So I'm going to take a little shortcut here if you don't mind. I'm going to multiply this side by B, and I'm going to multiply this side by B. And as you can see, they drop out over here, okay? Leaving me with this over here, B times 27 over 12 squared is equal to 4320. Now all I have to do is get rid of this guy. And I'm going to do that by undoing what he's doing. So I'm going to have to do some division. And if you don't mind, I'm going to show it in the same line because I'm running out of room here. So I'm going to divide that out. So it's going to be 27 over 12. I don't know why I ask you if you don't mind. You're not even here. 27 over 12 squared. So he's gone here. Adios. Leaving me with B. And now I'm getting into the calculator, and I'm going to put this entire thing in there. Now don't get scared of that thing. It's just a number. Can't hurt you. All right. So I have 4320 divided by. Now I've got to get thing down there on the bottom. I've got to get that on the bottom. And I want to make sure I don't mess anything up. I'm going to enter it just the way I see it. I've got 27 divided by 12, and that guy is squared. That guy is squared. Okay, so I get 853.3333, and go back into the problem, and it says, what does the problem say? The problem says that I'm supposed to round to the nearest pounds per square foot, the nearest one. So I've got B is equal to 853 PSF, pounds per square foot. Now, just to be on the safe side, you know, we put an awful lot of stuff in the calculator, and I want to make sure that my answer is correct. So I'm going to work this a little bit differently, just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and figure this out down here, right down there. So I've got 27 divided by 12. There's my 27 divided by 12. And let me move this over so you can see a little bit better. Or move the light or something so you can see a little bit better. 27 divided by 12 is 2.25. And then I'm going to go ahead and square that. So square that guy and let him stay in my calculator. And now I'm going to take 4320 and I am going to divide them by that answer. So I'm going to recall that answer. Okay, so I'm feeling much better about my answer, that I entered it correctly. And there you have problem number 6.